Yeah, hi folks, and welcome back. Once again looking at the new releases from the Perth Mint, and this time for the month of August. We've got a full program to show you today, so let's get straight to it. First of all, the new bullion releases this month. The first one is the 2026 Brumby coin. It comes in both this silver 1 ounce coin, and I think there's a gold version as well. And there's also a coloured version that's come out, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. But I just want to show you the one other bullion release this month. And it's this thing here. They've produced a 500 kilo gold bar. In fact, it's just over 500. It's about, I don't know what it is, about 530, I think. Kilograms. 500 kilos is half a metric ton. So it's a half-ton gold bar. There it is out on display in the forecourt of the Perth Mint. And I'm sure that'll be travelling around the world. And that's made of 5 nines gold. So they've gone all out on this thing. Anyway, that will go eventually on display next to the 1 ton gold kangaroo coin that they've got out the back. What do you think of that? All right, let's take a look. So the Brumby, yeah. So this has come out, as I said, as a coloured coin as well. And that's it there. The price on this is 200 Australian, which is 140 US dollars. The mintage on the coloured is, what is it, 1,500. Let's take a look. Here's the outer box. And here is the coin. For those of you that don't know, a Brumby is an Australian wild horse. Horses that have escaped from early pastoralists over the years. Same thing as a Mustang. Except there's supposed to be between 300 and 400,000 of these things running around the outback. Most Australians have never seen a Brumby. They live in pretty remote locations. The irony is that they're supposedly named after an early pastoralist by the name of Brumby, who let some horses go in Tasmania more than 200 years ago, but there are no Brumbies in Tassie. All the Brumbies that exist are on the mainland. But there it is. I think this coloration of this one I really like. Some of the ones in the past have been very brightly coloured, but I like I like the ominous tonings of this one. And the moon in the background. Isn't that beautiful? You can really see what the artist is trying to achieve with the coloured version as opposed to the monochromatic bullion version. Yeah, no, I like this one. And they were very popular. They sold out from the mint itself within 3 days. Okay, that's the Brumby. And by the way, that is the 7th Brumby release. Here are the previous ones. That's the 2020. 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24, last year's 25, and now we have the 26. Okay, Brumbies. They've also released a coloured version of the kangaroo coin. Now, of course, the 1 ounce silver kangaroo coin is the Perth Mint's main bullion coin. You've all seen that one. But they've produced a coloured version of it, as you see, known as the Sundowner, and the coloration on this one's been a bit controversial. I haven't found anybody else that likes this. I like it. I do like the bright colours of this. Some have said it's not very realistic, but then most of the colorations of Perth Mint coins are not supposed to be realistic. They're supposed to be beautiful and spectacular, and I think this one is. Mintage on the coloured version is 2,500. Yeah, no, I like that one. I had to have one. There we go. All right, some big fat koalas. It's a 5 ounce gilded golden Brumby there. A couple of wedge-tailed eagles have come out. This is a 2 ounce gilded proof high relief coin. Beautiful coin. I didn't pick it up, but I did see it. Very spectacular. Small mintage, just 1,000. If I do pick it up, I'll show it to you next time, but I haven't got it at the moment. And then for the very first time, they've produced a small ingot-style coin featuring the wedgie. And this is just 10 grams, a very small coin. And here it is. Oh, by the way, there's the normal bullion version of that. We've seen that. And I'll show you the... Oh yes, I'll show it to you now. There's the coloured version of it. Again, as I always say, the coloured versions really bring out the artist's intent. I think, isn't that beautiful? As I've said before, a sight you'll never see in nature, a wedge-tailed eagle next to a bald eagle. Opposite sides of the world. But anyway, it's a beautiful concept. And so let's take a look at the gold ingot. Very impressive box for such a small piece of gold. But let's take a look at what it is. Mintage on this is just 275. And that is it. 10 grams of 4/9 gold. As I said, the first time they've done the wedge-tailed eagle in this format. What was the price? The price was just over 3,000 Australian, which is 2,200 US. For 10 grams. Anyway, very cute. Don't ask me what the premium on that would be, but it would be very high. Not for your investors, more for your collectors. All right, what else? Another big fat kookaburra coin, 5 ounces. And let's skip to the back. Yes, they have produced now the rectangular dragon coin as a proof, which they always do, in both silver and gold. I don't have the gold, but I can show you the silver. Here is the original bullion coin, which we saw before. And so here is the proof version. There's the outer box. Very nicely done. And once again, it comes in this Perspex see-through case. Mintage of 3,888. I'm sure that has significance, but I can't tell you what. Here it is. Isn't that beautiful? It's that perfect mirrored finish, showing everything in this room, if I let it. And I have any excuse to show the original one. I showed this in the last video, but that's the original rectangular dragon coin in proof form from 2018. And so they've been producing quite a few of these over the years, haven't they? Well, there's the latest. I'd love to show you the gold, but premium was a little high on that one. We'll skip that. So those are the coins featured in this month's bulletin. I think that was all I was going to look at. Yeah, what I want to show you now is a very special coin. I'm not sure if it was produced by the Perth Mint. I think it was. It was bought at the Perth Mint. It's on their website. And it features this 1 ounce silver proof coloured coin of a blue-breasted fairy-wren, one of John Gould's birds from almost 200 years ago. Now, John Gould was a famous ornithologist, English, who travelled around the world and discovered lots of new bird species, and then had these beautiful paintings done of the birds, most of which were done by his wife, who I thought was very clever because she had 7 children while she was doing all this, and she actually died in childbirth, giving birth to her 8th child. But it's an absolutely beautiful coin. I want to show it to you now. Very small mintage. Let's have a look. And they've already sold out. Mintage of just 750. Let's take a look. Isn't that magnificent? Over 340 new species of mainly bird when he was in Australia, and he named them all. He also worked with Charles Darwin to correctly identify Darwin's finches, which was instrumental in Darwin developing his theory of natural selection. And there is a gold society in Australia. He's well respected as an early ornithologist and identifier of species. But there it is. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely stunning. Do I have a price? No, I don't know the price. It was about it was over 400 Australian dollars, which would be over 300 US. But they were actually snapped up very quickly. There you go. There is a market. That's it for me. I will see you in another month's time. All the best.